What's going on, guys? It's GBP baby. Welcome to another video. It's currently 11:55 p.m. on Thursday the 20th of July, and we're going to be looking at today's price action. If you watched yesterday's video, you'll know that today delivered absolutely beautifully, just as anticipated, just as I expected. So make sure you go check that out. I'll make sure to link that in this video. But yeah, it was it was literally like a perfect day in terms of what I expected, what I anticipated. And I'm gonna have a deep dive into GBP USD and look at how it delivered. But yeah, we're gonna start with dollar, and you can see now we've taken out this previous week's lows. You can see how we wicked into this fair value gap, and now we've traded up back into this imbalance, which is now should be acting as a bearish fair value gap, and we've traded into an old low, which is this swing low here, back from the 10th of April. So I'm going to say straight off the bat, depending on how we trade tomorrow will really dictate what I expect. So if we are to stay within this fair value gap and say close below or around the 50% level of it, I then want to see lower dollar. But let's say we close above this fair value gap, above this blue box, and find support, then I'd start to expect higher prices and maybe see us trade up into these highs here. But we'll drop down to the lower time frame and we'll have a better look. So if we go to the daily, you can see I've had a very expansive week. We traded down into the consequent encroachment of the breaker block, just as anticipated yesterday. Traded down, and then what happened? We used that as a springboard to push higher, trading through this volume imbalance here beautifully and right into the old low and close it. Wow, we haven't closed yet, but you can see that the price is looking like it's going to close right at the top of that old weekly imbalance. So I'm going to just show you the consequent encroachment of this breaker, because this is important to recognize, and this is why consequent encroachments are so important, I guess, because you can see how price is literally referring to them. So this is consequent encroachment here, and although we wicked just below it, but you can see how we traded back into this candle as well. So as price was trading into this would have been a beautiful, obviously, sell on all other currencies. But you can see it used as a launching pad and it traded higher. Honestly, guys, if this is your first time watching me or whatever, go check out yesterday's video and you'll understand how and why I anticipated this kind of movement. So we'll drop down to the 4 hour and we can have a better look. You can see we traded down, found support, and then pushed very high and ran into this buy side liquidity resting up here. There were two swing highs here and here, which I had my eyes on as relative equal highs, and also this swing high that was created on the Wednesday. I anticipated that getting taken out. I anticipated that getting taken out. Why? Because after that Wednesday close and we closed above this swing high, I was like, okay, we're definitely bullish. So that's why I waited for this retracement. We retraced, and you can see came down, offered an entry, and then pushed higher. Now, as I was saying earlier, we now traded through that volume imbalance. This is weekly. Remember, the blue one is weekly. So if we say, I'm going to mark out the 50% level in a minute, but if we find support there, then I'd anticipate higher prices, and I'll show you where to. I'll show you that. Let me just sort out the charts, and I'll explain more clearly what I mean. So as you can see, this is the weekly again, but I've marked out now the 50% level, which is going to be this. Let's make it red. This red line, and if we find support on top of this red line, so if price closes above this, then I'd anticipate higher prices for dollar. You can see we have an order block here, which dollar might want to trade into, so that's potential target. But also, if we go to the daily, you'll see we have this massive fair value gap with a liquidity void, not a vacuum. What's it called? I forgot what it's called. This is this is a real liquidity void because there was no trading between here and here. So it's possible that price is drawing up to that. But you'll see that we've traded into this fair value gap as well. And if I mark out the 50% level of that, you'll see how we've just traded to the 25% level. So again, if we find support on top of this, on top of the 50% level of this imbalance, so then I'd want to see us trade to the 50%, and then I'd want to see us trade up into this liquidity void. So these are all potential targets. Also, as I was saying, on the weekly, we do have this bullish order block here. These two down close candles are order blocks, so we can mark that out like so. And then if we drop to the daily, you'll be able to see that more clearly, and it involves that as well. It involves that liquidity void. So it's just a matter of seeing how price closes really. It is possible that tomorrow we might close below this 50% level. If that's the case, then I want to see lower dollar, but it really depends. So we'll drop down to the 4 hour again. You can see we just traded above it, closing above it, and we've still got a few hours left in the day, so I don't really want to say too much in regards to that. And I'll show you this fair value gap here on the 4 hour between here and here. You can see that it's possible that price might want to tap into that and trade lower. Now when I say that, I mean that we have to remember that look how bullishly we traded into this fair value gap, right? So if we're bearish, price will come up to this and stop, but at the same time we'll also be taking out buy side liquidity here. So there is, and also overall I am bearish on dollar, like on the longer term, so it's possible that price might want to tap that and pull lower, but generally it's just it's a matter of waiting, seeing how it treats this imbalance, and yeah, I guess it's just a matter of waiting at this point. So I'm gonna leave this line here, and I'm just gonna write 4 hour fair value gap consequent encroachment, because that's exactly what it is. And we'll see how price trades to it. Like again, if we do trade higher tomorrow, I want to see it touch it and then leave it for me to want to see lower prices, or again it will trade aggressively through it and start running up into that order block, previous order block. So I'm going to go to GBP now. Hopefully that made sense, by the way. That was quite complicated, but I'm going to go over to GBP, and we can see how beautifully, absolutely beautifully GBP traded today. So just as anticipated, you see that I had this, go watch yesterday's video, but I had this fair value gap marked out, and I was saying how I wanted to see us trade the 50% level of that at the most, and then trade lower into this breakout, because this is a swing high, swing low, and then breaks. So I was anticipating us to trade to that, and that's exactly what happened, pretty much to the pip. So it's just beautiful to see, closing this fair value gap as well, and you can see we've closed it perfectly. Look, this is the low of fair value gap, and you can see where price closed. So yeah, if we jump to the 4 hour, we can have another look. I was anticipating us to possibly fill in this fair value gap, and again, I do think it's still possible price might want to take out, come back down one more time and then trade higher. However, we have taken out sell side liquidity here, so there isn't necessarily need. It might be a matter of expansion, but we'll have to see. So Friday I'm not going to trade. I don't really like trading Fridays in general, and also as you know, I've been busy this week, so I'm not going to be making any videos Sunday, Monday, Tuesday for the next week anyway, so it doesn't really matter to me. But it's interesting to see how, we took out this swing high, and also we traded to the 50% level of this 4 hour order block. So I'm going to show you what I mean. So I've marked out this line here, I'll make it thick, is the top of this bullish order block. This line here is the low of this bullish order block, and then this is the midpoint of this bullish order block. And look what happens, we trade through it, and now what happens, price closes below the 50%, which is mean threshold, and then what happens, we trade lower and take out sell side liquidity. So it shows how a bullish order block has now become a bearish order block, again hinting towards lower prices, and which is why I likely want to see us fill in this fair value gap, as it's an inefficiency, and we've just tapped it, and it just seemed like, price wants to draw lower into that. Same on DXY, that would mean us trading higher up into this 4 hour fair value gap and filling more of that in. So yeah, hopefully that made sense, guys. Again, beautiful delivery. And if you check out my Instagram, I'm going to show you I did do some trading. I wasn't actually at the charts though, so I was away for a lot of it. It was like an all-day trade, but it went beautifully. So I'll show you the executions on that. But yeah, tomorrow what am I expecting? With these relative equal lows and this fair value gap, I do want to see GBP trade lower, which would mean higher dollar. And as I was saying, that would mean finding support at this 50% level and then trading higher up to the 4 hour consequent encroachment, or possibly higher, but I'm not really sure. So guys, I'm going to be away for a bit, as I said before. I have got some content out next week though, some very good content, so make sure to stick around. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and I'll catch you probably next week. Wednesday or Thursday, I'll definitely be posting. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.